Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Shoe Snob unboxing videos, one take wonders. Here we are with a brand we've seen before in this series, but they have recently been releasing a bunch of new shoes, a new last, and are rapidly expanding the collection. And I know some of you are eagerly awaiting my thoughts on the new last and how it differs from previous lasts. So let's jump right into it. The brand, some of you may recognize with the black box, is TLB Mallorca. Obviously from the name, you know where they hail from, Mallorca, Spain, which is a very famous shoemaking little island and tourist island and just beautiful island overall in Spain. All right, let's take a look. So the new last in question is called the Van Gogh. And the last we're gonna be comparing it against is the Picasso. Obviously, there's a little bit of a theme there. I'm not gonna say that I am the best when it comes to art, but obviously the founder of TLB is a big fan. So let's take a look. All right. In the last video, you can kind of see how I break down the TLB shoes and what you get. So I won't duplicate my stuff here. We'll just go straight into the shoes and the last. So the Van Gogh last, beautiful shoe, beautiful new model, really my kind of design. You got a U-Cap design there with a Balmoral line at the same time. So really a cool design in my opinion. Very clever, very my style. Hence why I chose this when I wanted to send a pair for review. All right, so a lot of questions revolve around what is the difference of the new Van Gogh last, say, compared to the Picasso last. Both chisel toes, but with subtle variations. As I have these same type of differences in my own brand, it's a little bit easier for me to see and explain. These are the subtle details that you start to notice and look for when making lasts. So the Picasso last was the first chisel last, and this last had a very defined edge here on the sides, making it what I like to call a sharp chisel. The Van Gogh, by contrast, it would appear that Tony or whoever created the last, shaved down the sides to create what I like to call a soft chisel last. So a soft chisel last, in reality, in my opinion, is far more appealing, because I feel like anything strong or somewhat extreme is gonna have either a love or a hate. There's gonna be few people kind of in the middle, whereas something that's kind of balanced between a chisel but soft, and some people may associate that with an almond look, you're gonna be spanning you're gonna be broadening your reach with clients and their likes for those that don't like that hard defined line. And I feel like for those that do like the hard defined line, they would still, I don't want to say settle, but appreciate the softer version if they're just a chisel last lover. So on top of that, and I don't have the Picasso last here with me to show you this contrast, but another subtle detail is the hump in the toe and the way it kind of is shaped, not kind of, but as you can see, as it comes down, it almost has like a little peak, and then it slants down very rapidly to create this kind of, I don't know if I like to call it like a hump look. It's also something that I have on one of my lasts, so it was easily recognizable to me, and in contrast to the Picasso last, which doesn't have this kind of hump slope. It's just kind of a steady gradient downwards. So it just gives this last a little bit more characteristic in terms of shape and appeal for those that like something that is slightly different. Again, most people may not even ever notice this, but I've made lasts before, and it's something that is there. It's something that is in many lasts. If you start to open your eyes now, you'll start to notice the differences between the lasts that just go from here down and the lasts that kind of go here, flat, up, down. I can tell you that in history, I think Riccardo Bestedy's last had the most kind of noticeable of this kind of hump peak, downward slope feel on the toe. So that is kind of the major aesthetic differences. Now, I could be wrong here, and maybe I'm just imagining things, but when I tried these on, so TLB says that pretty much they keep the same body of the shape when it comes to last. From what I'm interpreting that as is from the heel to the ball of the foot, you get pretty much the same fit, which did feel accurate. The Picasso last for me was quite generous in the width. Now, pretty sure TLB's standard is F. F can be interpreted as wide, and sometimes F can be someone's standard. If you are from a country where the foot is broad, your idea of a standard foot may be wider than a country whose people predominantly have feet that are not broad. So your F may be on the broad side, but it doesn't necessarily make it as wide as another country whose standard is E, and then F is the next jump up to a wide width. So it's like almost in between. That's what I feel like when I wear these shoes. Similar as well to other chisel lasts that I've worn. More broad in the forefoot, but not necessarily wide. So when I tried these on though, and again, I could be creating this in my own head, I did feel like these were slightly, I don't know if you just took this last in a touch compared to the Picasso, but it felt slightly more hugging on my forefoot. Not to say that it fit perfectly, because I have a narrow foot, so I still had some room, but it didn't feel as roomy. Now at the same time, this could simply be a pattern thing. With the seams here, it's gonna feel more constricting than their classic Adelaide with the plain toe and the sharp Adelaide. So the plain toe will ultimately feel ever so slightly more roomy, more forgiving. Seams kind of constrict and make things feel snugger, tighter. That's why you'll tend to find a full brogue will fit more snug than a hole cut in the same size and same last. So yeah, that is really the differences that I found. The last fit great. I preferred how it fit to the Picasso. Again, I could be creating this in my own head, but I think it had a slightly more hugging fit, which is good for me because my foot is not wide. For those of you that fit broad in the Picasso, I would definitely consult with TLB before buying the Van Gogh, just to make sure if you're already too snug, you're not going to be snugger again. Could just be a pattern thing. This does happen. Beautiful shoes. Quality of the Artista line is always top notch. Beautiful soles, really what TLB are known for. A nice tight stitching on the welt. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful stitching, beautiful finishing, beautiful shape, lovely waists. The Artista line starts, I'm pretty sure, well, starts for Oxfords around $425 or 351 euros. That is for those of us fortunate enough to be outside of the EU. If you're in the EU, sadly to say, you pay VAT, so it's more expensive. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if the shoe trees come with the shoes. Full disclosure, I don't pay for these, so these are sent for the purpose of review, but they do come. This pair came with a nice lasted shoe tree. I imagine that they are not included because this is a very well-made shoe tree and they cost money. And I already think TLB is selling for a price far lower than what they could be selling for. There are makers of lesser quality selling for higher price and getting away with it. So TLB is actually underselling their shoes because you're getting a whole lot of bang for your buck here with this price. So I imagine these are on top, but great shoe trees, lasted. Definitely recommend always having a nice set of shoe trees in your shoes. It's gonna help prolong their life. Yeah, again, I touched a lot on the Artista last in my first video. This is more just to show you the, the Artista line, the differences between that and the main line. This is really just to show you this beautiful new model, the beautiful new last, and to share my thoughts on it. If you've been curious about this last, I will dare say that you won't be disappointed if you take the leap for it, because it is a very elegant and easy to wear last. I at least think it's gonna appeal to more people with the soft edges there. You don't have that very extreme, not extreme, but extremely defined line. And yeah, cool new model. Love to see TLB doing something that I find to be different, you know. A Balmoral U-Cap touching at my heartstrings. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this is quick, but again, this was just a simple review on the new last and new models. Yeah, give them a check. Grab these prices while you can. I dare say that as TLB grows, just like most brands, the price will eventually go up once they have a huge customer base, because this quality deserves a higher retail price. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Lots more to come. Do stay tuned. Take care and have a great day.